It's a revision class on informal letter, so we'll just go over what to do and know what to do. So we all know that.
Go on, shall I hear word now?
Please mute your audio, please. Before we move, we progress. Put off your audio. Mute it, please, so that we don't have any distraction. Okay, so we know that informal letters, these are letters we write to our friends, relations, and parents. It is called an informal letter because the language is friendly. So if you, informal letters are letters that we write to our friends, people that we have personal relationship with, people that we know, our friends, our relations, our parents. It is a friendly what? It is a friendly letter. It is a friendly letter. That one we know. So we say if you view informal letter as a conversation on paper, it will help a lot. Now, it's not about the definition, it's the ability for you to be able to write informal letter the way you're supposed to write it. So, okay, let me take it slowly. We have established the fact that informal letters are letters that are friendly letters that we write to our friends, our parents, our relations. It might be our uncle, our aunt, our pen pals, your neighbor that you're friendly with. It's just a friendly word, it's a friendly letter. Now, if you view it as a conversation on paper, it will be very easy for you to write. So it means, for example, you're writing a letter to your friend. So Daniel, you're supposed to write a letter to your friend. Just assume that you're writing a letter to Watchfire. Or just assume that you're having a conversation with Watchfire. The way people gist, not with pidgin anyway. Just you're having a conversation with her in English language, in a proper language. So you're having a conversation. You see how, you know how interesting you have conversation with your friend. Just assume that is what you are doing. A conversation on paper. It will be very easy for you to write. The only reason why you find it very difficult in writing an informal letter is if you take it too seriously. It is not a formal letter. It is not a formal letter. You just need a simple, straightforward word, English tenses, correct tenses. It gives room for a lot of informal words, informal languages, informal writing. So it makes it easier for you. So sometimes when you use firstly, I tell you not to use firstly when you're writing an informal letter. Because it's an informal letter. There's no need for you to be using furthermore. You're just complicating it. Assuming you're having a chat with your friend now, you now say furthermore. Do you say furthermore? You rather say guy instead of saying what? Furthermore, firstly, lastly. You don't have to start your paragraph that way. Just assume that you are having a conversation on what? On paper. It will be easier if you make it chatty. That's what we are saying. If you make it like a chat, like just a discussion, then you will not find it difficult at all. I think informal letter is the easiest that you can write. It's the easiest. You just picture yourself talking to your parents, picture yourself talking to your friend, picture yourself talking to any of your relations that you want to write to. So now let's look at the format of writing an informal letter. The format of writing an informal letter. Who is making noise in my class? Please just mute your audio. Mute it. So the first thing is our address and date. Our address and date, as simple as it appears or as simple as it sounds. Some people will write 2 addresses for informal letter. Yes, students do it. They write 2 addresses. It's only one that you need. One, by your right hand what side, that's your address, the writer's address. Number two, you have what? Your salutation. You have your salutation. Number three, you have the body of the letter. And number four, you have your, I don't know why, what is making you smile? Samuel, you've just been holding yourself from laughing. What is funny?
Nothing.
Okay. So now, number four, we have the last, which is what? Our complementary what? Our complementary clause. So now we'll start with the first. That's our what? Our address. So the address is written at the top right-hand corner of the paper, your answer sheet at the top right-hand of it. This is followed by the date. You know that when you are, because we are preparing for external exams, so you know that writing your letter is not just writing your letter. You are writing letter for you to earn marks. It's not as if you are just writing letter for the fun of it. So all these are very, very important that you follow them to the latest. So we have at the top right hand of your paper, that's where your address comes from. Then this is followed by the date. There are two forms of addresses. We have the block and the indented, or we call the slanting. So we focus on the block because you always get it wrong when you want to slant your address. So the block is the easiest, so we'll stick with it. So the block form is easier to handle and use a simple address. Don't try and complicate things. You don't have to start thinking of one. Some people say Beverly Hill 20. Don't look for that kind of, just look for a simple word address. In most cases, your school address is the appropriate if you are writing an exam. It's easy. You go straight to the point with it. Just learn it. It's very easy. Even if it's the name of your school that you have, and then the address and the date is okay. Just stick to a simple word, a simple address. Don't complicate anything. Now, let's look at this example of the address that we have here. There are different ways in which you can write this your school address. So we'll just stick with the simplest. So you can say Faith Academy, Maraban Rido, Kachia Road, Kaduna, full stop. You see there's a comma after every address. You have the Faith Academy after every word, Faith Academy, comma, Maraban Rido, comma, you have Kachia Road, comma, then you have a full stop after Kaduna. Then although in most cases they don't really, sometimes they penalize, sometimes they don't penalize. They don't penalize in most cases, but let's just stick to this. You leave a line before you now write your date. You leave a line, so let's stick to this. You leave a line before writing your words, your date. It is address and date, so they are not together. Your date separates from your words, from your address. So you leave a line, then you write your date on this or the other second line. You leave a space, then you write your date. Now, because this is a computer date, so you have your 8, your TH, like in the upper, how do you put it, uppercase? Not uppercase, you see it up, not standing, not together with the 8. But when you are writing with your pen, you don't write it this way. You're going to be penalized for it. You write all of them on the same level. Your TH comes to your 8th level. So you have, and you write your date in full. Your date should be written in full. Don't write 08/06/ no, that's wrong. So you write your month in full, followed by a comma, then you have your year, 2020. Now let's just focus on this. I've said most of this, but let's look at it again. For examination purpose, it will be sufficient if you just write your school address instead of trying to write some non-existent address that will get you into trouble. There's no need for you to start formulating any funny address in your head. Just stick to your school address. When the letter is written to someone outside the state, focus on this now. When the letter is written, I hope you are not chatting, Samuel, because if that's what you are doing, I will see all the things you are writing. So I need you to be serious and you focus on me. Now, when the letter is written to someone outside the state in which the writer resides should come under the city. And if it is written to someone overseas, the country should come after the state. It's simple. It's simple. If you are writing to someone outside your state, you're in Kaduna State, you're writing to someone in Abia, you just indicate your state under your city. Since we have, Kaduna is our city, Kaduna is our state. So that's why you have, for example, now, Faith Academy. Okay, let's just go to it. I have an example here, so I'll analyze it better. So you have Faith Academy, Maraban Rido, Kachia Road, comma, Kaduna, comma, Kaduna is the city, Kaduna State. Now, for example, you are writing to someone in Kaduna State, you will stick with the first words, example of your address. You just write Faith Academy, Maraban Rido, Kachia Road, Kaduna, full stop. But you can still add Kaduna State if you want to. But if you are writing to someone that is outside your state, you indicate the states you reside in. So you have Kaduna. Kaduna is the city. For example, you are writing from Zaria. So you have Faith Academy, Maraban Rido, Kachia Road, Zaria. Do you understand? That's your city, Kaduna State, but Kaduna is our city. Now, if you are writing to someone overseas, for example, you're writing to someone in UK or someone in US, so you indicate by putting what? Nigeria. You see Nigeria under it to show that this is the country where you are writing from. Do we understand that? Can you nod your heads if you do, so that we can move forward? Do you understand? Do we understand? Unmute your audio so that I can hear your voices.
Yes.
Good. Please mute it back so that we can move forward. Mute it back so that we can move forward. So, when writing the date, the month must always be written in full. I've said this already. When writing the date, the month must always be written in full. The date is not part of the address, and so it should be spaced one line below the address and followed by a full stop. So after your address, you space, followed by what? Followed by a full stop. Now we are going to the next one, which is salutation. Salutation. The salutation is written on the bottom left hand. You write your address right hand, salutation. We say bottom what? Bottom left hand. A line below the address. That means after your address and your date, you leave a line, then you start with your salutation. Your salutation starts with what? Dear, plus the name of the person to whom you are writing, followed by a comma. So for example, you're writing to your friend, it will be Dear Jennifer, Dear Samuel, Dear Timothy, Dear Gabriel. If you're writing to your father, it will be Dear Father, Dear Dad, Dear Baba, Dear Papa. I hope nobody is making. Please mute your audio. Okay, I will mute you all. So now, so if you're writing to your mother, it will be Dear Mother, Dear Mom, Dear Mommy, Dear Mama. Just stick with the dear. Avoid all this dearest, lovely. It's just dear. You start your session with your dear with the person's name. not dear sir. Even if you call your father sir at home and you're writing a letter to your father, it's appropriate that you just use dear dad or dear father or dear Baba. Do you understand? And if you call your father by his name, fine. You can just put dear Ali. Since Noel is smiling, yes, that's what you do. So
Papa,
you just stick with that. Do you understand? Good. Now we are done with the salutation. Then you follow by a comma. All these punctuation marks, they are very important when you are writing your essay, because you are going to be penalized for it. If you omit that comma, you are going to be penalized for it. So we'll move to the body of the letter. This is the main letter now. You know, when we are discussing about essay writing, we always analyze it into how it is being marked. We have our organization, content, mechanical accuracy, expression. Now, your address is part of your what? Your organization. So if you write your address the wrong way, they will start to minus marks from your what? From your address. That's organization now. It's called less. So you have to stick to it. You have to start it well and end it well. So when we are done with our address, followed by our salutation, dear, plus the name of the person or the title of the person you're writing to, then we'll go to our main letter, which is our what? The body. The body of letter is divided into paragraphs depending on the number of points to be discussed. But you know, when we start marking with 3 points, minimum of 3 points, you can have more than 3 points, but you have to have minimum of what? Of 3 points for you to earn a good mark. So you have to have minimum of 3 points. But apart from that, you have to have minimum of 5 paragraphs. That means you are having an introductory paragraph, you are having 3 points that you discuss in 3 different paragraphs, then you're having a concluding paragraph, making it 5, but you can write more than that. So the body of letter is divided into paragraphs depending on the number of points to be discussed. The first paragraph is used as the introduction, while the last paragraph is used as what? As the conclusion. So let us just analyze the introductory paragraph. The content of the opening paragraph depends on the writer. It depends on you, how you want to open your letter. The letter may open with expression of appreciation for something done, or it may be just greetings. So you might start how you want to start your paragraph, the opening paragraph, introductory paragraph, depends on you. You might start with what? Saying, okay, I received the gift you sent to me last month, and I'm so happy. I'm grateful that you remembered my birthday. Or you say, I received your letter, the reply of your letter, whatever. You can just, express appreciation for something done. Or you can just go straight to the point by saying, how are you? I hope everybody is fine. I miss you. How has been your holiday? Whoever you are writing to. So you can just start with greetings, or you can start with expressing appreciation for something done. Then you move to what? To greetings. Anyhow you want to start. Remember that just make it what? Make it chatty. That's all. Don't make it too serious. Not a serious letter. Don't make it too serious. Just make it chatty. However you want to start your introductory paragraph depends on what? It depends on you. So after that, then you develop your 3 points. I always tell you to have an outline, but students don't comply to this. It helps a lot. Before you answer any essay question, just look at it and try and quickly think about, brainstorm for like few minutes the points you want to develop. Even if you have like 10 points, just write them down. You can merge them. You see that some points relate to another point, so you can merge them together, so that your writing will be lengthy. Because the problem is you are trying to count 450 words. If you have enough points, in fact, you write more than 450 words. You won't need to start counting whether it's up to 450 words or not. So you brainstorm, at least have 5 points that you want to write about, and then try and make them in maybe 3 points or 4 points. and discuss them extensively. Do not join all your points together. If you have one point, establish that point, develop that point in a paragraph. You move to another paragraph, you develop another point in that paragraph. You move to another paragraph, you develop that point in that paragraph. You already have the body of your words, of your letter. Then the conclusion. The conclusion. This is the last paragraph, and it shows that you have ended your letter. This is the last paragraph, and it shows that you have ended your what? Your letter. Letters are usually concluded with extending, that's informal letter, extending regards to people known to both the writer and receiver. So you conclude, not that you say, try and avoid saying, extend my greetings to everybody. Who is everybody? Extend my greetings to everyone. Who is everyone? So if you are extending your greetings, make sure that you mention people's names. Extend my greetings to Danielle and Emanuela. Tell them I miss them a lot. Something like that. Do you understand? So that's how you end your, always extend your greetings to people in your concluding words paragraph. Don't conclude with a point. You have to have a concluding paragraph. Just like you don't open your letter with your point, the body. You don't just say, I am writing to you to tell you I want to go and see my friend and I'm asking for permission. You don't do that. You have to greet. You have to appreciate if you want to. Then before you now move to the second paragraph, and then you start what? Explaining why you have written to that person. Now, the last one is our what? Is our complementary close. Our complementary close. So in informal letter, the common closing remark is yours sincerely. Then we have others like yours affectionately, yours, but we stick with what? Yours sincerely. So that you don't start writing yours forever in love, something like that, because you just want to be creative, or I don't know, yours loving son, yours, you just see some ridiculous yours. So just stick with what? Yours sincerely. Just stick to it. Now this is written at the bottom right hand side of the paper. Bottom right hand, you know where your right hand is, good, of the paper. That's after you have written everything, the last part by the right hand side, not the left hand side. Now this is followed by a comma and the writer's first name written under the complementary clause and followed by a full stop. So if your first name is Samuel, we'll stick with what? With Samuel. If your first name is Daniel, you stick with Daniel. So after your yours sincerely, comma, you go down, not on the same line. We know all this, but we are saying it all over again. Then you what? We put a full stop. If your first name is Emanuela, you write Emanuela, and then you put a full stop. If your first name is Stephanie, you write Stephanie, and you put a full stop. If your first name is Kehinde, because I can see your faces, if I'm calling your name, you write Kehinde and you put a full stop. If your first name is Fee, you write Fee. And not put, there's no son name. No Kehinde Lawal, just Kehinde with a full stop. No signing. We don't sign, don't get carried away. Maybe you get carried away in the exam hall, I don't know, but you see some people signing on their what? Informal letter. We don't sign on informal letter. There's nothing formal about it, so there's no signature. Anything that has to do with your signature is something that is formal, is a serious matter. Good. Now, let's see, let's note this. The first word in the closing remark usually begins with a capital letter, while any other words that follows begin with a small letter. That means only your Y in your yours will start with a capital letter. Every other every other letter, yes, every other word will start with what? With a small word, a small letter. So you have yours with starting with Y. Every other letter will be small letter. So you have sincerely. The S is not capital letter. The S is what? Small letter. Then followed by a comma. But you know your name starts with a capital letter. So your name will come with a capital letter under it. So I think that is it. But let's just quickly go over it again. By now, you should be an expert in writing an informal letter. As far as I'm concerned, it's the easiest to write. And we are looking at how you are going to earn marks. So first thing first, in every examination, you go over the question first to understand what you are asked to do. Do you understand? But if you find yourself, yourself not understanding the question that has to do with an informal letter, it's not compulsory that you must write an informal letter. You are equipped to write other essays if you want to, formal letter, narrative essay, and the rest. So, but you have to just look at the question critically first, then before you start. So if you decide to pick an informal letter, we start with the address. Very important. For those just joining us, as you are going over the revision, you can go over it with us. So we know that our informal letter are letters that we write to what? To people that we have relationship with, friends, relations, and parents. It is called an informal letter because the language is friendly. You use the short, the contracted form or short form of what? Of auxiliary verbs, like cannot. You use can't. You use cannot, sounds too serious. Can't, aren't, shouldn't. We use them in what? In informal letter. So the conversation, just view it as if you're having a conversation on what? On a paper. You're having a gist with your friend, but you are writing it down on a paper. It's as simple as that. You can use slangs, but you have to put them in quotation marks to show that that's what you are. You can say how far, but you put it in what? In quotation mark. So our address is, we have only one address by the right hand side. You leave a space after your address, then you write your date. You leave a line, then you have the next line, you write your date. Your date should be written in full. Your month should be written in full. June, May, write them in full, followed by a full stop. And I said, if you are writing if you're writing to another person outside your state, for example, you're writing to somebody in Enugu or in Adamawa, just indicates that you're writing from what? From Kaduna. If you're writing somebody overseas, you have to write your country. Know where you're eating. This is a class.
You don't have manners.
Yes, in this class. So now let's move forward. Okay. So we are done with that. Then we go to our what? To our salutation. Our salutation. Finn, you're also eating. What are you chewing? All right. So salutation. Our salutation is by the right hand side. I've said that. Just a line after your you leave a line after your date. Then you have your dear. Stick with just your dear. Dear to the person you're writing. If it's your friend, write the person's name. Dear Emanuela. Dear Derek. Dear Gabriel. So after that, we'll now go to our first paragraph. You can make your introductory paragraph as interesting as you want. Why am I having some people's gosh? Okay. Peace. David, I can't see your faces. All right, let's just move forward because our time is almost gone. Okay, so after your salutation, the next that we have is, is the body of the letter. Always brainstorm quickly before you start writing. Think of what you want to write about. And think of the points that you want to discuss and write them down quickly at the back of your answer booklet, anywhere you want to write them before you start developing your point. Then you develop, at least you should have 3 solid points that you want to develop. Then your concluding paragraph. Your concluding paragraph should be that you're extending your greetings. You're saying, okay, I will see you next time. I'm expecting you to write me as soon as possible. Depends on what you discussed in your letter. I'll be grateful if you can get back to me as soon as possible. I would love to see you as soon as possible. Extend my greetings to mom, and you name your siblings that you want to extend your greetings to. Then you conclude. Your complimentary close is just sincerely. We have said it. The only one with capital letter will be your Y in your yours. The rest will come with small letter. Your sincerely will also be with small letter, followed by a comma, followed by your name. This is as simple as as ABCD. But for you to be able to write well, you have to practice. It is not just it is not theory. They are saying it. Nobody will ask you how many addresses do you have in an informal letter. Nobody will ask you list the format of writing an informal letter. Nobody will ask you that. They don't do that in English language. They will ask you to write. So use all your time to practice and write. If you continue to write, you get used to it already. You'll be good at it. And I've told you that writers are not born. Takes a lot of practice. Now I'll give you an assignment that you go home, take your time. It's simple. And please, let's work on our handwritings too. So you won't give your examiner trouble seeing what you have written. So you write, your friend is in another school. Your friend in another school has written to find out what you intend to do after your SSC examination. What you intend to do after your SSC examination before going to the university. So you should know that writing going to the university won't be part of it. Before going to the university, always understand your question before you start writing. Don't start writing that, after my wife comes out, I'm going to the university. Before going to the university. So write a reply to his or her letter. It's as simple as that. So you write a reply to his or her letter. We have come to the end of the class. Who is saying mad? But do you have questions first before we call it a day?
XYZ.
Any question?
No.
Good. Let us pray before we go. Father, we thank you for the opportunity you have given unto us today to gather here. Thank you for these lovely faces. Thank you, Lord, for what we have learned today. Help us to put it into practice. Take away every spirit of laziness that is stopping us from practicing how to write in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for answering our prayers. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. So see you next time. All right. How are you?
Bye.
Take care of yourself. Bye.
Bye.
Yes, for more fun. Bye.